so many reports. Reports are that he would like to go to the Timberwolves. Yes, I want a big disclaimer at the bottom of the screen. Reports that he would like the Timberwolves or the Heat. We've seen what the Timberwolves did today, very small but making room. We've heard from the Miami Herald that the Heat are willing to give up multiple first-round picks, plus Tyler Hero, plus more, in order to get Giannis. Brad, how are you reading all the tea leaves when it comes to Giannis right now?
It's so listen, the incentives in this deal, Giannis wants to do this now, even though he doesn't want to be the bad guy and say
Supermax, baby.
That's exactly right, because he becomes extension eligible 6 months after a trade goes down. So if he waits until the summer, then the 6-month clock starts then, and he can't sign the extension till like next January or February. And what if he tears his ACL? Whatever. The quicker they can get this extension done, the better. So he wants to trade now, doesn't want to come out and say it. The Bucks, everybody's living in like a post-Luka world where you rush a deal and you don't open it up to enough bidders to get your best return. And the Bucks will have more bidders in the summer when teams have extra draft picks, when the 7-year time clock stretches out to 2033. There's just more flexibility with roster spots to get things done in the summer. So the Bucks probably wouldn't mind waiting. And to me, that's the million-dollar question over these next 2 days. Does Giannis get his way behind closed doors? He wants it done now. He does not want to wait till the summer, whether he'll say or not. Do the Bucks hold on to it and stand firm and say, we can get a better deal? We're not going to sell out early like the Mavs did with Luka. This is our one chance to fully cash in and wait until the summer. So we're hearing all these teams. I think the chaos agent in us all would hope for this to go down in the next 2 days, and we've got a lot to talk about, and we've got a new power structure to discuss possibly. But the Bucks are not going to do something for the sake of doing it.
How much does Giannis get a say in all of this? I mean, he's out right now with the injury, staying out till after the trade deadline. We don't know if he's
like... He gets a lot of say because he can threaten to not re-sign.
Okay.
That's the leverage card that he can play. He could say, like, they could say, like, they might get the best deal from Portland. They might get the best offer from wherever. And he can just say, I'm not re-signing there. And so then Portland says, well, then I'm not going to trade.
But I also think Milwaukee, unlike the Portland Dame situation, Giannis has won them a championship. And Giannis has been with this organization a lot of ebbs and flows. And this is the optimist in me thinking. But I would like to think that with as much as Milwaukee has tried to do to keep Giannis happy, you've got to think coaching changes, bringing players in, signing his brothers to roster spots. I mean, the list goes on and on, that you would think that they would try to meet somewhere in the middle.
Ooh.
I do.
I think that's reason to not do anything. They've already given up. Like, dude, we signed Miles Turner for you.
What I'm saying is if they trade Giannis somewhere and he threatens or tries to and threatens not to resign, that's a byproduct to what Milwaukee can do in terms of their rebuild post him. And I don't think that Giannis is that, like, he doesn't strike me as that type of player. He wants the Supermax. He wants to win, obviously. But I don't think that he would screw the organization who has tried to appease him in order to make that. I personally don't feel that way.
He may not.
And I think that Milwaukee will do everything in their power to also try to send him someplace that's not only beneficial for him, but also beneficial for them.
Okay, so this is the conversation point. I do agree that Giannis is probably the kind of guy that's not going to say this one team, nothing else, and I don't care what kind of. But there is no, in this day and age, you cannot operate from a standpoint of romance and say, you've been so good to us, now we're going to be good to you on the way out.
There are multiple teams that fit what Giannis is looking for, and there are multiple teams that fit what Milwaukee is looking for. That's what I'm saying. I believe they meet somewhere in the middle.
They got to meet on the one that gives them the best return, not in the middle.
Somebody's not going to get everything.
Milwaukee.
Giannis is going to make sure he gets the if it was like a 50-50 situation, but we can only go like 40 and I don't know, my math's not great, but whatever. Like, I'm going to make sure I come out on the winning end of that.
But then I just think Milwaukee just doesn't do it. Unless they get 100% of what they want. I mean, look, Milwaukee's paying Damian Lillard $113 million over the next 5 years to play for somebody else. They did that for Giannis. They did that so that they could pay Miles Turner $107 million over the next 4 years when nobody else would have signed. They did that for Giannis. They have done all of this for Giannis. They traded for Drew Holiday and gave up all of their assets.
But that's also because Milwaukee didn't do a good job at building a team around Giannis, so they also had to rectify their own mistakes.
No, they
built
a winner.
Situation.
They built a championship. They traded for Drew Holiday. in Milwaukee. That's something all these teams
what I'm saying is they did not do anything to help their star, their superstar, their megastar be in a position to do that multiple times.
No, they tried. They traded for Damian Lillard. They tried. It didn't work. They have given up everything, and now they're going to pay for it.
Didn't even want to go to Milwaukee.
It doesn't matter. They tried.
How much? I mean, you did mention this. I mean, with what Miami said they're willing to offer, potentially what the Timberwolves could offer with other teams, how much more could they get if they waited for the summer as opposed to the trade deadline?
Yeah, I mean,
everyone has a different mindset in the postseason.
Exactly,
when their
exactly.
Season, you have more offers that can come your way, right? Because you got to think about it. In the postseason, if you thought you were going to be a playoff team and either you were, but you got bounced in the first round, or you weren't, the front office's mindset starts working differently. The postseason changes everything.
Right now, there are 3 teams that aren't involved in this that have the best packages to offer. That is the Spurs, that is the Rockets, and the Thunder.
You think San Antonio goes after Giannis?
Well, I'm just saying they hadn't. Probably not, but they have the best packages. If the Rockets said right now we're getting in, nobody else can play with them. They've got the young players, they got all the assets. The Spurs have the same thing, but they're not in it right now. To Ashley's point, if they go in and they flame out in the first round, they might be thinking differently in the offseason, and they have massive packages. So right now they're sifting through the Timberwolves, who might have to trade Jaden McDaniels to then subsequently reroute 2 picks. You know, they're kind of taking their pick from not the best. But if the Spurs were to get involved, if Houston were to get involved, if somehow OKC, with all of their assets and young players, and that might be more possible after the postseason.
Yeah, that'd be greedy though. Come on, OKC, you don't need any more.
Well, there is a report that Damian Lillard's trying to get involved again and get his now Portland Trailblazers.
We're getting Milwaukee West.
Yeah, right.
Dame just
and Drew Holiday's there too. With Drew Holiday, they switched Drew Holiday for Dame.
Oh
now we can get the whole band together.
I would literally trade you for Drew Holiday for the Knicks.
I got to think about how to take this. Hold on. I got to think about how to take this.
I could get Drew Holiday in a Knicks jersey. Oh my God, I would be so happy.
Oh, who wouldn't? Yeah.
Is this where we do like the not safe for work? Right?
I know. Hold on. Where do I go with this?
We're sifting through all the reports and the rumors here with less than 48 hours now until the trade deadline. You know, Giannis is the big pie in the sky out, and there's Jaws out there too. But how about Domantas Sabonis and the reports that the Kings, and these reports are from Clutch Points and Hoops Hype, that the Kings and Raptors are talking about this deal.
Listen, the Raptors are a team to watch in all of this, because they are the classic, and they have the history of having done this, a team that's sort of right there, and we don't care about long term. If he's going to re-sign, they went and got Kawhi, and they won. Domantas Sabonis is not that level of a player. They're probably not as close to winning as they were back in the Kyle Lowry and DeRozan days when they brought in Kawhi Leonard. But they're a team to watch because they're right on that second tier in an Eastern Conference that's winnable. And Sabonis is interesting. You know, he's a guy that helps a ton of teams, as the way that teams operate now with high post facilitators. Not we don't get too much into the X's and O's of basketball, but I mean the way that he can function with two-man game. He has stretched his game to be able to shoot. He's one of the best rebounders in the world. Now, defensively, he doesn't bring what you would think he would according to his size, but he's a really good player that has gotten, I think, forgotten in the mess that is the Kings. Like, what are they doing with Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine and Domantas? They've sort of become this punchline, and it's easy to do because it's the Kings, that you forget that in another situation, each one of these guys, like a DeRozan or certainly a Sabonis, is an all-star level player and can help you in the right predicament. And so I think that's the way that teams are evaluating Domantas Sabonis right now. Look, it's all sort of gone to waste in Sacramento, but this is a guy that can really help us.
Yeah, and I think the Raptors are, you know, I'm actually very surprised by what the Raptors have done so far this season. I thought that they were going to be just a non-factor,
I know.
truly.
There's a lot of teams doing that. We all thought Phoenix was a dud.
Yeah,
you know, we thought the Celtics were.
But I'm very surprised by Toronto.
Like,
I just thought Scotty Barnes is such a wild card. Brandon Ingram had the injury, and then, you know, how was he going to look like when he came back? They have surprised me. So if they're a team, again, in the Eastern Conference that is so wide open, you know, you have your top 2 teams. You got to put Boston in that conversation. Let's say top 3 teams. And the rest of the conference is wide open because of the injuries and just the discrepancy in talent. if you're the Raptors, you think, hey, like, we're a player in this game. We just need another piece to help us get there.
Yes.
They might be in the mix for
Dude, I would be
Sabonis.
thinking I had a shot if I was like the Hawks.
All right, relax.
I'm just saying, the Eastern Conference, you get a player.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
You get a player.
Sitting at 24 and 27 right now.
It's not that bad, Brad. Don't try
Just
it.
get in. Just get in.
They're in the 10th spot right now. They'd be in the play-in.
The East is.
Don't do that.
We got to have a conference talk. The East is.
I feel like after these days, Brad just needs like a cold shower.
I know.
And he's got to like relax from it.
We got a couple more days to go because the trade deadline is coming up Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We've seen some faces change places, but so far these